Okay, so now we're basically going to start making our hip pads, and this is very, very simple. You've obviously got your pattern, which is on the pattern that's provided with you, or RPC003, so print those off and cut them out. And then what we're using is basically, it's like 1mm leather. You can use thicker leather, it's absolutely fine. This is only stuff I've got to hand, but it still works, it's still quite strong. So basically what we've done is we've basically got our pattern pieces, and we've just literally with a pen or pencil we've just basically marked around the outside and cut them out, obviously marking the notches. So these are our two pattern pieces, which is wonderful. Now there's a seam allowance on the inside edge and not on the outside. That's because, let me show you the pad, we're not actually using a seam allowance on the outside, but we do actually have to put these bits together. So basically once you've got your pattern pieces cut out, just turn them over. Where is it? Yeah, turn them over. And you just want to start stitching down that line there, okay? You can't actually pin this stuff, so it's absolutely fine if you kind of like, you can roll it as you go along, okay? Just get the notches matched up. Also use a very, very tough, use a very strong needle, like a 14, almost exactly the same needle we're using for the corset, and also quite a tough thread, like the nylon polyester Gutermann have been using before, because obviously you need a tough thread to stitch this, okay? Same with any kind of leather. Also it's good to use a leather needle, but I don't have any, and it works just as fine. Basically a leather needle will cut the leather, whereas a normal needle doesn't puncture it, but kind of presses through, and so it's not a great result. But we're not using a lot of leather, so it's fine just to do that one little seam. Okay, so we're now going to stitch these two together. Okay, so now obviously we want to do this way round, but you see how it's all kind of puckered up. So we now have to basically stitch these down flat, okay? But also, same as before, scissors. Sorry. Same as before, you just want to go along and just notch it, okay? This could be quite tough actually, maybe notch it, yeah, individual bits is easier. Wow, that's really tough. Actually no, it's not, it's being a big girl. Okay, there we go. So yeah, just go along and notch it open. Also note that we haven't stitched to a point, we've gone literally all the way to the end, okay? That's absolutely fine, it's because we're not joining any extra seam to it. Okay, so that's one side done. When you go on the opposite side, try not to do it in exactly the same place, try and go in the middle, okay? This will just give you a nice smooth curve. Otherwise it might start to look a little bit lumpy, because it's quite a tough, thick material. So this just allows a nice smooth curve. Okay, so that's basically our pieces, if you can see that. There we go. So now literally, I'm not going to bother to iron this because you don't iron leather. But I am going to take it under the machine, so follow me this way. Okay, so now I'm basically going to stitch this open. And I'm going to do it from the inside out. And I'm just literally, let's move this in like that. I'm just going to press this open. And then with the edge of my sewing machine, you see how that seam is on the edge of this foot? I'm literally just going to go along. Let's just back tack a bit, and let's do it about 4. And as I go along, I'm just going to open up this seam, press it down. Same again. And I can even pull the bottom out as well, to make sure that is absolutely, we've got it, it's definitely pulling the seam out. Okay, just be careful with it. Okay, so that's one side done. See, basically my needle is not a leather needle, so it does have a bit of a problem with it, but these pads aren't going to be seen. I don't actually have any needles at the moment spare, so as I said, this is not going to be seen, it's going to be on the inside of our corset, but it is best if you get a leather needle, okay? I am so bad at cutting corners at the moment, okay? So, as I said, you can do this much prettier than me, okay? I'm literally just going to do exactly the same to the other side, and then we'll have basically our pad created, and then we'll just have to start putting the padding in underneath. Okay, so we're about to make this. We have our panel pieces that obviously we've cut out, we've now stitched, and we've obviously top stitched as well, which is wonderful. Now I'm going to show you these two bits. You have wadding, and you have this, which is basically quilting, I guess. Now I got this from John Lewis. I'm sure there are loads of places you can get this. Hell, you can even make your own if you want. It's not a big deal, it's just 2 bits of material with a bit of very, very fine wadding in the centre of it, okay? And it just acts as a nice kind of cushioning layer to smooth things off, okay? And I'll show you how that works out later. Wadding, this stuff I got from a very, very old kimono when I took it apart to get the pattern. You can buy this stuff, I think, from anywhere. Just have a look online. I'll try and put something on the Excel document for you. But if not, you can literally just use this stuff. You can get this much, much thicker and just build it up in layers and layers and layers and layers. That would be the wadding layer, not the whole kind of quilting. Right, so what we're going to do is very simply, I'm just going to start to build this up. Now this should come apart in layers. So I'm just going to cut. It's quite tough. Okay, I'm going to start to shape it, and literally, you don't have to be, you know, overly perfect with this, because it all squashes and flattens up.